Two weeks living, where we shine so bright. She goes the host, making everything feel just right. Love, laughter, and glow, that's what we're all about. Come on, join our family, let's really shine. Games and challenges, excitement in the air. Friends and guests joining us everywhere from
Honorable, someone deserving respect. What advice is your mind to give respect or not? I believe someone that deserves to be called an honorable depends on the actions and the things that they do in the society. And my guest fits that perfectly. Welcome, Mheshimiwa.
Thank you very much.
If you could be so kind to introduce yourself.
Thank you very much. I'm humbled you started with honorable. I'll tell you where honorable came from. But in the meantime, my name is Eric MWIRIGI. Sana sana wananiita siku hizi Muhesh MWIRIGI. I am a young leader. I am an economist. I am an art enthusiast. I'm also an entrepreneur. I think I'm many things in one. But I'm happy that you to be with you, that you chose to host me. And I'm looking forward to this conversation.
Now let's dive right to it. I mean, like you said, so many people are calling you Muhesh, honorable. Maybe apart from the fact that wanakuita hivyo saa hii, where did that start from? For those who may not know about your journey.
Oh, that started way in campus. I joined the Kenyatta University in 2008, and immediately after joining, I heard there is election in the university. And I delved into politics as a fresher. I vied for Congressman School of Economics, and I didn't get it for the first time. But since that election, I won 3 more elections. And as I completed, I was the finance secretary, same position that was held by Dindi Nyoro. So that's where it started. Then after university, I decided to shelf politics because I lost my dad, who was also a politician. He was a conjurer. In those days, he was also mayor of Meru at some point. But I just lost my dad just a day after I graduated. So I didn't have the pleasure or the opportunity to celebrate my graduation party, because on the day we were to hold my graduation party, that morning I visited him in the hospital, suffering from cancer, and I found him in bed, but had lost his life maybe approximately just an hour before we got there. So it was very devastating. And it is after that year that we had the elections of 2013. Many people had implored on me to get into politics at that time, but I didn't feel ready. So but I after that, I worked for various organizations. I worked in the private sector. I worked for Solution Circle. That was my first employer. And then I joined G4S as a graduate management trainee, where we're being trained to be future leaders of the company. But I left G4S as a assistant operations manager, courier division, the entire country. But I still had my dream in Meru, and I decided to come back to Meru. Many people came by surprise, and I resigned my job, and I became an economist at Meru County Government. That was downscaling because I was in a better job. But I felt that I need to come back home, and I worked for the county for 8 years. When I resigned again, another decision that many still not understanding how you leave a job. I left the county when I was a deputy director, efficiency monitoring unit in the office of the governor, and I vied for MP. here in North Imenti. And that is a decision I'll never regret. Because I vied first time. It's like in the university, I can relate. I didn't win. But before people elect you, they need to know you. They need to have. I think that was, for me, that was an introduction. I intended it that way still, to come out there, to offer my candidature, and I decided to do it uniquely. My campaign was, I can say, was unique because as an economist, I I had a development agenda which I called the homegrown development agenda, which can be scaled up even to presidential election, because we advise all those politicians. And the reason why I left my job at the county was because I had seen we have politicians. We do plans for them. Like when I left county, we had done the Meru Vision 2040. At the national level, we have the Kenya Vision 2030, and which economists like us sit down and develop, but the politician does not implement. So I had, when I left campus, I have many other colleagues who joined national politics. Like in the national government, Kimani Francis, who is the guy moving the finance bill. We were with him in campus. He was in. We are Catholics. He was a leader of the YS. Yes. And we have Dindi Nyoro, I mentioned. We share the same position in student leadership. We have Eric Mushangi, ni MP peke yake anavaa kiremba hapo parliament. So those guys got into politics earlier than myself, and I felt that maybe I'll join politics way later. But because of coming back home and looking at politicians and pursuing politics other than helping grow our economy and improve livelihoods. And I said, why not? I should be a politician too, because I am a politician in DNA, and that is me. And this is the space I am right now.
I think you kind of took off some words from your mouth, because I was about to ask you, would you say that your dad's influence, of course, being in politics, is what also informs your desire?
Definitely, that played a big role. But it also played a big role that I chose not to join politics at the same time when my colleagues were joining politics. Because my dad was a conjurer. There was a misnomer. There was people thought that when you are a conjurer, you have a lot of money. Because some people would say we are dynasties. But when they joined politics, I think the first election, when he won, was in 1997. They're being paid 7,000. And in our home, every morning we had visitors who would come for fee. In fact, from my experience, that politics impoverished us. It made our lives difficult. It made us not have very neat family time, because every morning when I would wake up in my bedroom, Ngania, somebody has come, and so it's only in when was that? I think 2002. As in they were poorly paid. From 7,000 got to 15, then got to 30, and the entire community expects you to be there to sort out issues. So when my dad used to do business, and they owned the Meru Beauty Salon, which was one of the first salons here in Meru, we had money. I would wake up very early in the morning, go nafungua wallet, and I'd see lots of money. But in politics, that money was not ours. It was communities. So, and I felt that really has influenced me in terms of the decision when to buy. Because if ordinarily, having been a student leader in the university, and not a small position as I left, uh, I just ought to join politics immediately, and so I think that was one thing that made me not to do that immediately, because I felt that if you have to get into politics, you have really now to have buffers, so that you don't deplete very easily. So now what made me now vie is now that I just felt that compelled. I felt compelled, and something very interesting also is that maybe something people may not know is that I also wanted to be a priest, huh? And I should have been admitted to Mary School, but I decided not to go, and I went and got a letter at St. Pius Seminary, and that's where I went for my high school, because I was very certain mimi nataka kuenda kubariki
Yes.
but that's a story for another day. And so when I decided not to pursue that line, I committed to myself that whatever career, whatever I'll do, it shall be I shall use it to serve the people. Now, not as a priest, but I think even this pursuit for
You're still serving your
yeah,
people.
it's still to serve. Yeah.
And now, politically, they refer you as Kajana.
Yeah.
You know, you're young in politics and all.
Yeah.
Do you think it's easier for you being young, or do you think the older are getting it easier? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, that's not thought, is actual experience. I was the youngest vying for MP here in North Imenti.
Yeah.
And the nature of our people, even when they call you Kajana, you know, Kajana is assumed as somebody who is starting up.
Yeah.
You go out there and they say, oh, Kajana, you now in Kimeru, you are just young, you have another chance.
Yeah.
And so I think they didn't. It's like, especially here in North Imenti, we have not had very many members of parliament. We have a Nangaine, we have a Daudi Mwiraria, we have a Silas Morioki, and now Rahim Daud, who are not young guys.
Yeah.
And people are not now used occasions, because it is very interesting, because outside Meru, these guys whom we have been with in student leadership, when they vie when they are young, like when you go now to Rift Valley, they elect very young leaders. But here, I think they will elect me as the first young leader, but they needed a bit of time to acclimatize and to acquaint themselves. And I'm happy now Gen Zs are showing them, because Gen Zs now are changing the conversation. And our people have been in functions even today, as before I came to this interview, and everyone is talking about Gen Zs, and they love the charisma, the courage, and how they are outgoing, and that's what they did not see. And so I think it's time for North Imenti, especially Meru at large. But Meru is dynamic, because in the Gembe we have John Paul MWIRIGI. We have a very young guy elected as MCA, the youngest. They say Kabako, Fadali Yako. So, but it's age notwithstanding. What is important, we're not. I didn't vie for MP because of my age. It's because of what is in me, and what I think we can offer. Because there's a book I read by Robin Sharma. It's called "Who Will Cry When I Die," and it's from those such books that I find that we are here for a purpose, and we don't know when we are going to go. None of us knows. And I think that reminds me what is another motivator for me to get into politics at this point. This happened when John Pombe Magufuli died. Because to me, John Pombe Magufuli is an African hero. I think he's bigger than Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela, other than having a one-term presidency, we cannot put a name of many things that Nelson Mandela had done. But Magufuli, within 5 years, he transformed Tanzania into what it is today, because it's like he knew he's not going to be there for long. Because I was trying to compare Magufuli and Uhuru Kenyatta at that time. Because when Magufuli died, is just when he had won his second term. It was barely a year into his second term, and then alas, he's gone. And then that is the time when Uhuru Kenyatta was in his second year after election, and that's when now he was working very hard to leave a legacy. Then I asked myself, if Magufuli thought like Uhuru Kenyatta, and in the first term did nothing significant, to wait for a second term, we would not have any name to it. Then I asked myself, I feel I have this calling, I know what because here in Meru, not many people even know me as a politician. We used to do that politics in university. And when I was at the county, even most of my colleagues did not even identify me as a politician. I did not associate with any of these politicians. But then I asked myself, I'll sit down here waiting for tomorrow to vie, and maybe I'll not be there tomorrow. So when the death of Magufuli hit me, as somebody admired, but just gone too soon, and I had predicted if Magufuli would be here for the completion of that term, then Kenya and Tanzania would be incomparable. Yeah.
You know that if one listens to you, Kingsley, you can feel the passion in you. So I cannot let you go without asking, are you vying next? And are you still vying for the same position that you wanted?
That I vied. Well, I vied because I believed that I have something to offer. And I was very deliberate to vie for Member of Parliament for North Imenti. And that has not changed. And I don't feel like I lost in that election. I won in very many ways. I won because I was the youngest vying for that position. I won because I had the confidence. Because people think vying is easy. But even when the thought to vie came to me, I attended very many functions and I was not even able to even say, even people would not recognize me. And that after that, everyone knows that mimi ni mwesh, and they already know how I think. They know what are my areas of that they understand the homegrown development ideology, where nobody is going to come out there to come and help us in our challenges. And I feel North Imenti is now ready for this kind of leadership that is ideological, a leadership that, you see, we are young. And even a question I also would ask is even at the county level. You see, we have had Kiraito Muronge, we have had Peter Munya, we have Mama now. But my vision is beyond the constituency. But we have to start somewhere. Because I ask, who will be the leaders of tomorrow? We cannot sit and limit ourselves with the realities of today. Because when I was vying, guys would ask, you ungeanza MCAs, but why don't we dream? Who else is going to get these positions? And that's the message to young people. We should not limit ourselves. We have the opportunities open out here. And when I asked that, I had predicted that people like Kiraito Muronge, even if we gave them more years in politics, would be 10 years. but he's disqualified himself from elective politics. So he's not going to be vying. So we have -1. We have Peter Munya. He might be vying this coming election. But for how long? We have Mom. For how long? So we have to position ourselves, and we come as young people. We bring a new way of thinking. We bring new, like now we are saying, generational differences have different perspectives. So for them and us, we are different, but we don't discredit them for that. We have a lot to learn from them. We have they have mentors in their way, the kind of leadership they have taken. But we have to craft our own. We have to have our own way. We have to craft. We have to position ourselves basically. So I am in politics, and I'm in politics to stay because I am a politician. Now that is my priesthood.
That's a clever way of dodging, as in answering if you're which position you're buying, but you leave it at that. Then, finance deal. Your very stern opinions about it. Tell us what your thoughts are about that.
Well, I have very particular interest in that area because apart from being a politician, in fact, I don't now. My title is I'm a political economist. I'm not just a politician. I'm not just an economist. And the term political economics is that every policy, the policies that government introduces that has impact on economic performance and economic well-being is something I'm very interested in. Because as an economist, I'm looking at and as an economist and as a politician, I'm trying to ask, what is the future of our country? We elected the Kenya Kwanza government and the bottom-up economic model, which I have told many that is not a very unique. Ruto did not introduce anything. We have only two types of economics. We have either demand or supply side. The demand side ndio hiyo inaitwa bottom up. You focus na wale watu wana demand goods and services in the economy. Ili you ensure wanapata something called disposable income. So they have money to spend. So my expectation from the Kenya Kwanza government is that they're going to reduce taxes, is that they are going to adopt government policies that ensure people at the bottom have enough money so they can fuel this economy. And the contrast, kuna the supply side economics, which is called trickle down. So is that because Ruto said this is a bottom-up economic model, it looks like it is a new concept born in Kenya. This is an economic model, is just one economic model. Now, I oppose the finance bill 2024 in entirety because it makes life difficult. Increasing taxes in an economy that is not growing is unrealistic. And because I want to apply now my thought as an economist, not now as a politician. Because if I apply a political thought, I will be biased. And I think we have gotten now to a point where we have to be objective. And I want to call on our people. Let us not support anything because it is being pushed by people you support politically. We need to be objective. And that is a space we have to be different, especially people our age. And again, now to teach that other generation that we have to think through things objectively and ask ourselves, why really do we have to support? And that's the reason why, that's the only way we shall be able to deal with the leadership that is not taking us anywhere. Because if we confront them, we will make them more accountable. and they will be able to put into consideration us in terms of decision making. And you see now they talked about public participation. You see, this is the second finance bill being passed.
Yeah.
We have had another finance bill that was passed last year, 2023. Na tukaambiwa this finance bill ikipita, we struggle right now, but tomorrow things will be better. They increased VAT on fuel. In fact, not increased it, doubled it from 8% to 16%. They introduced a housing levy. They introduced more levies. But that finance bill was to fund a budget. And now I'm specifically not talking about Meru. They raised 3 point something trillion. When Mwai Kibaki was president, he ran a budget of 1 trillion, only 1 trillion. But look at the things we can see. We saw roads, we saw schools. In fact, education was free. There was a lot of renewal in the health sector. Only 1 trillion. Now we are talking about a budget of 3 trillion. Now we are about to get even to 4 trillion, just shy of 100 billion. But we cannot feel it. We have not felt that last budget. And then we want to tax Kenyans again. And and you see, we are persuaded by the kind of we should be persuaded by the kind of debate those supporting the finance bill are able to push in the floor of the house. But when you listen to those guys, even they are not persuading. Okay, so we are not persuaded at all, because somebody would argue. I think that was who? That was Didi Nyoro. Would say that if this finance bill is not passed, the budget of State House is going to be reduced by 450 million. As in the kind of reasoning that they are having is to show really that the monies that we are collecting, kama tuna collect pesa watu waende sherehe, we are raising money so that we can fund international trips. We can build more state houses even in Meru here. My member of parliament is supporting an idea of putting up a state lodge here and even as airstrip to kate miti kwa msitu tutengeneze airstrip ya 20 acres. That is the kind of reasoning I do not understand. Because there is need for development. And if development is not realized in that state, it affects all of us. Because every day we are being invited for harambes for people who are sick. And it is these budgets that should be able to provide absolute universal healthcare. This government got into power. We are very enticed by the concept, the idea of a universal healthcare. But it is just been universal lip service, because you pay for every service you get at public hospitals. So I think we have seen countries that have developed when they have reduced taxation because they broaden the tax bracket. And I would want to refer this government to study Reaganomics, where that is the president of America, Reagan, got to power with circumstances that Kenya has, and did only 3 things. He reduced taxation, he deregulated businesses, so it was easy to do business. I told you I'm a business person. Running the business I do, I need to be regulated by more than 32 agencies so that I can be compliant. So even now, we have had companies that have closed because of government regulation. And lastly, reduced government expenditure. So this government is not convincing when it is spending money on luxuries, buying cars, renovating state house, trips. That's money that can be saved to provide much needed services. So that's the reason why I am opposing this
Opposing the
finance
finance
bill.
bill. Mheshimiwa, thank you
Mm.
so much for being here.
Thank you.
But I cannot let you go without asking about where we are right now. And something else, that if someone went to your social media and tried to look, try to learn more about you, hear Sanaa culture. What is Sanaa culture? Where are we right now? And we've seen a lot of art. What's that all about?
Wow. Well, I love to walk the talk. I don't want to be somebody who preaches water and drinks wine. In my economic model, if I would be elected, I have two areas which I have as an economist, as an expert. I know that has a lot of potential to cause change and development, and that is art and agriculture. And for those two, I have organizations that I run that support. For Sanaa culture, for art, I have Sanaa culture, which brings together artists so that they can have an opportunity to grow themselves and their art through exposure, capacity building, and even a place to market themselves. And we have a curio shop at Equator. I am that guy who moved the equator. Because where we have grown up knowing the equator line is not that actual line. That's why there's no economic activity happening there. And so we have an equator right where the equator line crosses across the Meru Nairobi Road. And we have had a few issues about running that equator, but we are working on a program that we are hoping to reopen a robust equator curio shop and activities that revolve around our culture, art, and artifacts. In October, I think we should be doing that in Utamaduni Day, God willing. And is that same notion that I have applied here. Here we are at the Nido Hotel. This is an artistic space. The Nido Hotel is where you experience artful hospitality. Just in line with my thoughts that there is economic substance and opportunity in art. And I think that we can bring art to the people. And the nido is an Italian word for the nest. The nest is crafted artistically, and in the nests, birds eat, they sleep. So here we have accommodation, we have a restaurant, and we have meeting spaces. And so this is where we are, and that resonates completely with my passion and my support for art. And that is to show that you cannot separate me with art and the appreciation of our own culture and our heritage. That's why I love to don African themed attire, and which is made. This one is made by a graduate of fashion and design from Kenyatta University. So that is still homegrown development. So I love to walk the talk. So in terms of agriculture, I also have another CBO, which is called Homegrown Volunteer Network, where we are engaging local communities and teaching them on how they can reduce the cost of agriculture. And in that way, they are adopting organic farming. We are teaching them that you don't have to apply chemicals, farm inputs that are fertilizers and such. We are teaching them that they can make homemade fertilizers, pesticides, and that are very potent, and that they are helping to reduce the cost of agriculture. So those are my two areas, and which I continue to support with the position or without position. Because I told you that I don't know how long I'm here. So I will not wait to be member of parliament to pursue what I think has a potential and has the capacity to help our people. Because as I told you, the book I'm reading, Who Will Cry When I Die? It says, when we are born, you are the one who cries. Yeah? And everyone else around you does not cry. In fact, they are happy that you are crying. They know you are alive, you are healthy.
Yeah.
But you will know you lived a life of substance and value. When you are gone, it is not all those people who cry. So I want to make an impact to our young people, to artists, to our local farmers, and live a life of purpose. Yeah.
Mwesha, asante sana.
Thank you very much.
I think you've just hiyo part in short siwezi ongezea hapo. Thank you so much for allowing us to be here and creating time for us, and we wish you well in your endeavors, and ukishaamua where you stand, call upon us, we'll support you all the way.
Thank you very much. Yeah, but let there be no doubt that I said I vied for MP North Imenti deliberately, and I'm not about to leave that space.
Yeah.
I will be vying for MP North Imenti in 2027.
Karibu sana, and congratulations for that.
Thank you very much.
Guys, thank you so much. That was our time. And thank you for always coming back every week and watching our episodes. Let's continue subscribing and liking, sharing. That's how we get to grow our community. And as Muhesha said, don't wait for tomorrow. Who will fill that position if not you? Thank you so much, and may God bless you.
2 weeks living where we shine so bright. She goes the host, making everything feel just right. Love, laughter, and glow, that's what we're all about. Come on, join our family, let's reach out. Games and challenges, exciting.